War in the Democratic Republic of Congo started in 1996. Since then, more than 5 million people have been killed. There's never been as many deaths from war since World War II.
Does people continue dying in this 21st century for no cause?
The main reason for the conflict in the Congo is because it's rich in materials such as coltan, copper and diamonds.
It's obviously a very rich country, and there's obviously somebody or some people making a lot of money out of it.
This report will investigate how much people actually know about the conflict in the Congo and the reasons behind it. Because it's seldom reported on, therefore people know very little about it. Especially the fact that many people are dying just so Western societies have access to new technologies such as mobile phones, digital cameras and games consoles.
There are people suffering and there is war, not only in Iraq but in many other places that we're not aware.
We also visited London, where there was an exhibition called Dogo. This exhibition was set out by Oxfam and famous photographer Rankin. We speak to members of the public there to find out what their changing perspectives were of the situation. We also speak to Placide Bagalwa, who is a Congolese community leader now living in the UK. Now he has a common link to these people because he is from the Congo himself, so we'll find out what his thoughts are and what needs to be done and why things aren't happening.
When I got the figures through from Oxfam of what was going on there and what had been happening in the last 10 years and how little media attention it had had, I thought that possibly this was the place to go to do this project. It seemed like the most obvious place to go to try and get some media attention for it, really.
I believe this is actually bringing about awareness to the troubles and problems, humanitarian problems people are facing in Congo, which maybe sometimes we don't get in the media, which sometimes we don't hear about in the parliament or wherever. People don't talk about it.
You can see there's teachers and there's tailors and there's families, and they're just ordinary people who are suffering, really suffering.
I don't know, when you see it like on the news and it's in the natural environment, you can kind of like put it as being really far away from you, but that there's just like these people here, like as you're walking along, makes it seem a lot more like personal, like closer to you, I think.
Ban Ki-moon, the General Secretary of UN, if actually is going to listen to this message, he has to do something. Gordon Brown, our Prime Minister, have to do something. We saw him in India, we saw him in Pakistan. Is also life. Human flesh in Pakistan, human flesh in Congo. They all bleed the same color blood. So if you can save those in India, because what we saw in Mumbai, which was actually horrible, more horrible is happening in Congo as well. Do we call it Holocaust? Do we call it genocide? We don't want to give it those names, but humanitarian catastrophe, and we need to do something.
I don't know, I cannot really empathize because it's too hard, but I think that showing that picture of hope still on them, and as well as the videos that we can see over there, can make people more like to get to know the problem and to contribute if possible and to be more aware of it.
Congo being rich because of their minerals, so should we kill people because of the minerals? Why don't we take them and put them somewhere because Congo is big? So then we can exploit those minerals without killing them. Because I believe we are not allowed to kill. We cannot make someone, so we are not allowed to take life. Not because of coltan making this telephone, making this television, making this computer, are going to take people's lives. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
It's obviously a very rich country, and there's obviously somebody or some people making a lot of money out of it, and those people have got very strong ties to the West, if not our Westerns.
These are just real people, they're just normal people in the street, they're just like you and I, but they're just in a worse environment than you and I, in that they're in a war zone where awful, tragic things are happening to them, but they're just real people.
Our government should take the situation in Congo incredibly seriously, because we're part of it, you know, whether we like it or not. You know, the fact that we use mobile phones and you know, are using some of the natural resources of that country, or have used them in the past, means that we have a responsibility there, I think. And as human beings, we've got a responsibility for the entire world.
I'm now in Middlesbrough Town Centre, where I'm going to approach members of the public to find out what they actually know about the current situation in the Congo. It's estimated that in excess of 1,000 people are killed every day, which is totalling to over 5 million since the conflict began. We're exploiting a material called coltan, which is used in everyday products like laptops, mobile phones. About 229 million are exported alone worldwide within the first quarter in 2009. Let's see how many people are actually aware of these findings and see what they think.
Well, no, it's not highlighted on the news, so that's probably why I don't know that it's going on, to be honest.
I couldn't tell you specifically. I know we're in a war, put it that way. I'd say there's at least 80 wars going on at this time, for a guess anyway.
Afghan, what's going on in Sudan as well, that's a bit nasty.
In Afghanistan, the Taliban wars.
It seems there's a general lack of awareness about the conflict in the Congo, because little has been said or done to help the situation. Can you list any electronic products that you've got?
Mobile phone, a telly.
Do you have a computer?
I've got a computer, yeah.
Do you have a mobile?
Yep.
I've got a PC, I've got a television, I've got a microwave, a mobile phone.
I've got a digital camera, yeah.
Do you think we've got any responsibility though for what's going on?
No, I don't think there's any responsibility going on. I mean, like, you know what I mean? We should have a lot more responsibility. We should be like, basically making stuff happen, doing stuff, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, as long as we've got our mobile phones, as long as we've got our, microwave dinners, we're all right, aren't we?
We don't want really all this genocide happening just because we need this material, you know what I mean? Let's just sort of say, look, we need this to be sorted out, sort of stop all the genocide, just do it like a proper normal business would.
After visiting the exhibition and speaking to various individuals, it's clear that more needs to be done to raise the awareness of what's going on in the Congo. Not everybody believes we have a responsibility for what's going on out there. However, we do benefit in some way from the exported materials coming out of the Congo. Therefore, the public have a right to know the reasons behind people being murdered and chased out of their homes. This may encourage the large companies who have strong links with the use of those raw materials to take more responsibility themselves for what's going on over there. To find out what you can do, visit the Facebook group on facebook.com/Chekkikidogo.